This is making me very hungry, and I just want to eat all the cookies that are in front of me right now. And trying to keep him from being obnoxious, trying to find that balance. That's my objective. Capturing that essence and making it funny and still lovable and not annoying. I would tell them to look forward to a lot of shrieking. I'm freaking out! A lot of excitement and terror.
I think I get to really bring out, how much she cares. I really get to bring out more facets of her because you get to see that she's not just shy. She's very observant. She can be very intelligent as well. And she's a little bit of a shy nerd, and you get to see her kind of blossom as things go on. So I think you get to really hear that as opposed to reading that,
I really do connect with her. And also she's just so much fun. I mean, she gets to be bossy and yell at people and, and have battles, and it's just so great. And I love playing characters like that.
Gosh, that's honestly the biggest challenge for me when it comes to working on this project in general. It's not specific to Wizard Cookie. The biggest challenge is that it makes me so hungry because everything is so sweet and delicious looking.
She sits way more in my natural voice. So discovering a character within my natural range is very interesting, especially because she's so similar to me. So it's like, oh, how do I not make this 100% me? Like, how do I, give life to her more so than myself? And I think finding the voice was the biggest challenge. I really love what we came up with. I feel like actors, most times, we don't want to be ourselves. So when we are asked to be ourselves, we are just like, wow, I'm just trying to escape from reality.
I would say the only challenging part sometimes is, just in a technical way as a voiceover actor, we have a lot of efforts and, you have a lot of different scenarios, and you're just kind of having to convey things without words.
Sliding.
Yeah.
Like sliding.
Yeah. Not too fearful, just kind of a move. So, yeah.
Okay.
But we have an awesome director, and so he made it super easy to go in there and do all those effort poses.
I started in musical theater. Like I said, I'm really short. And so in theater, I play a lot of roles, like adults who play kids, all the roles, like Charlie Brown. There are a lot of musicals where adults actually play children in their comedic roles. I guess I kind of just developed this knack for creating these kind of out-of-the-box silly characters. And I kind of just fell into voiceover work from that because people knew me from the roles I played. And then I actually had an agent friend. He was actually a manager, and he stumbled on a voiceover job that he just thought of me for. He thought I was right for it, and he sent me in for it randomly, and I booked it. And so that was just the beginning of a long line of me creating random voices for these amazing characters that were shown to me on screen. And I just absolutely love it. I love it. And I read to my kids at night a lot. I read bedtime stories, and I'm always coming up with voices for every single character. I just love to do it.
That's a really good question. Well, I've been doing it for a really long time. And when I was a kid, I was in children's theater, and I got to work with puppets. And I always noticed that my favorite part of doing that was just doing the voices for the characters, because I got to be silly and just be different things, so different from who I really am. And it didn't matter what you look like or anything. So I think that just stuck with me as a kid. Voiceover was just the perfect fit for me. And I still love it to this day, especially when I get to do characters like this. There's that fire in me, but there's no way I could be like Chili Pepper all day long, So it's great to get to have these outlets, because I've got a lot of voices in my head. Bring out the nurturing mom, bring out the spicy cookie, they're all in there swimming around, and it's great to be able to tap into it. To have a character, an awesome character to put the voice to is just perfect.
So growing up, all I ever wanted to do was be an actor. My focus was I want to be in the movies. I want to be a TV star. I want to be a household name or whatever, At some point along the course of me going to school and learning at USC's School of Theater, I kind of lost my drive and my passion for trying to pursue the career of being an actor. I floundered around for about a year after I graduated from college. But while I was going to school, I got really into a video game called World of Warcraft, became involved with a fan site that was a podcast network called WoW Radio. I co-wrote, co-directed, and played about a dozen different characters in a radio play, very loosely set within the Warcraft universe. I thought back to that radio play and I went, you know what, that was a lot of fun. I should take a class in voiceover specifically. And as soon as I did, everything just clicked for me. I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. I want to focus on this. Bang my head against the wall just through sheer will and stubbornness to not quit when when it wasn't working out. I finally broke through.
So I always loved acting when I was a kid, especially loved animation. Like I liked hearing the acting in that, but I didn't really realize that until I was older. Fullmetal Alchemist specifically, I heard the voice acting in that and I loved it. And I'm talking about OG, not Brotherhood. Like the OG, like, ooh, it was so good, and Brotherhood wasn't out at the time. That's when I started getting interested. Internet's such a wonderful place that, can introduce you to so many things. And there was a voice acting community online that I joined, and I basically did voice acting as a hobby. And that's what I did for years until I was about 18. Then it became a bit of a side gig. Like I was doing college, and I was also doing work on the side. But I made no plans to get into the industry officially until I started booking work while living in Florida, my home. Before COVID, that wasn't a thing, So, I booked Kimono Friends. That was my first anime. And I flew into Texas, and I was there for an hour. I was nervous, but it also felt like home in a way, to be in the booth and to be in that environment. Really, I think my career really blew up over quarantine. Like last year with Nessa and Mirko and all these other big characters, I feel like it's people putting their trust in me. And I guess me always putting in the work because I work on voice acting every day, so.
Voice acting is lowercase voice, uppercase acting. The acting is the important part of the equation. So if you get that foundation of knowing how to bring truth to what's essentially just words on a piece of paper, that's the first step. Never accept that you have learned all that there is to learn about the craft of acting or voice acting, and just keep on seeking out more information that can help you. Never get envious of other people that you look at. I know that's so much easier said than done. If you see people and you go, I could do better, or maybe it's conversely, oh gosh, they're so much better than me, I'll never be that good. I think that's an unhealthy way of looking at the situation. Look to those people for inspiration. If you have an attitude of gratitude, where you're just thankful for whatever successes you can find and you celebrate the successes of your peers, that makes for a much happier life, and I think a much more fruitful career. Sometimes it's hard to keep that magic alive for yourself. Not every job is as inspiring as stuff like Cookie Run Kingdom, but if you can keep that magic alive for yourself, it makes everything so much more worthwhile. Life is full of ups and downs, and I feel like the highs are really exciting, the lows really suck. So really what you want is somewhere that's just a little bit more smooth sailing, right?
If you really love it and you really want to do it, you gotta do it. Find projects that you can work on, because as my favorite rock star Eddie Vedder once said, if you want to be a songwriter, write 100 songs. If you want to be a painter, paint 100 pictures. And I say the same thing with voiceover. Just get out there, do it, find your voice, find your characters, your bag of tricks that you can pull from, and, take a voiceover class and be around like-minded people and just get involved in projects. There's a lot out there now.
Find the things that bring you joy, and if you chase your joy, if you chase your fun, you're gonna find the roles that are right for you, especially when it comes to animation and gaming and things like that. Don't be afraid to play and really explore your voice and your silly side. You have to be really free sometimes to find these random characters within yourself, but they're in there. You just have to tap into them, and you just have to be willing to be completely free about it and actually also enjoy the process.
Never forget yourself. That's something I've started to realize recently, where it's like, oh, you know, the difference between me now and me when I started is that when I started, I was very much myself, I think, and later on I feel like I've leaned so much into becoming the characters that I've lost myself, and that's the most important part of the process, like what part of you can give to the character that you voice. That's a humanity, something to grab onto, you know? And especially, you know, to POC actors in general, because, you know, I'm also POC. Work hard, like really do. Make friends, and no matter how difficult it may be, I promise that your work is what matters most. Keep trucking.
There are archetypes maybe that I'm like, oh man, it'd be cool to play a character like Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series or something. I want to be a character in the Star Wars universe somewhere or something like that. I just want to be part of telling interesting stories and playing interesting characters, whatever that means. And a lot of times that just means playing something I haven't gotten the chance to do before. I just want to have fun what I'm doing.
Just, you know, I'm really loving all the girl power stuff, like where we have strong women with voices. They're just living their own lives. And so a lot of those kind of characters I'm really drawn to. I like to play a nice princess every once in a while. I like to play a tough guy every once in a while. So I don't know. I'm just, as far as a specific role, I'm always just open to, I love not knowing what's next. You know what I mean? Like just, okay, here's a new role. Let's see what we're going to do with it. So I just feel really lucky and blessed. You know, you don't want life to be so predictable, you know, and that's what's so great about what I do. I never know what kind of character, like, who knew I'd be playing a chili pepper cookie? Who even knew that existed?
I think my personal character would be a little too sweet. I have the biggest sweet tooth, so I think most of the characters in this game might be a little too sweet for my taste. I don't want to eat them, I just want to watch them.
I'm a big sweet person in general. When I was a kid, I didn't have a lot of candy, but I did have a lot of fruit, and strawberry was my favorite fruit. So I've always loved strawberries, but I've never had a strawberry cookie. I don't really like it if it's like an artificial flavor. I like strawberries in cakes, right? Like if you have like a strawberry filling, like with the cut strawberries, I like that. And I used to always love strawberry shortcake. So I guess like if it's actual strawberries, I tend to like it, but the artificial flavoring, I'm not a big fan, which means that I probably wouldn't be a big fan of strawberry cookie if I ate her, but it's okay, because I don't want to eat her. I want her to live and be happy and thrive.
The chili pepper cookie, I've never had one, but I can totally envision that spicy sweet thing going on. I think I would love it. I want to just like get the recipe. Now I'm gonna have to throw some chili pepper on top of my cookies and just see how it goes. Like I think the snickerdoodle with a little bit of chili might work.
So his hat is like an ice cream cone or like a waffle cone ice cream cone, I think it looks like. So I imagine there'd be a little bit of a wafery. The rest of the cookie kind of looks like, honestly, it looks similar to a gingerbread man, like just at first glance. Obviously not as much as like gingerbread, but there's all that clothing on top that's probably a whole lot of frosting. I'm imagining like the oatmeal frosting my mom used to put on Christmas cookies.